All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan, a very happy Harris Sultan, because our boy Tommy Robinson has sent the entire British Islamist propaganda team into turmoil. They are crying, they are screaming, their shrieks can be heard all across the globe. But that's not even the best part. Their screams, their prayers, their hoo-ha, all of that has gone to waste because nothing came out of it. So what am I talking about? Our boy Tommy Robinson went to Dubai. I mean, it was a bit of a roll of the dice. I wouldn't have recommended him to go to Dubai, but he did. Apparently, he went there upon the invite of some Emirati officials to discuss how to stop Islamism in the UK. And not only just in the UK, pretty much all across the Western world. It's the same story everywhere, okay? So it's not just the UK. The UK is the frontline state, but let's just face it, the entire Western world is sick and tired of one ideology, that is Islamism, okay? And our lefty politicians are trying everything they can to appease them, shut down and restrict our speech, just like the Australian government have just announced that they're going to be knocking down on the doors of people who spread Islamophobia. So I am expecting a knock. I'll make a separate video on that. But anyway, so that's why Tommy Robinson went there. So when he was there, as soon as he got there, someone took a photo of him with Ant Middleton and it started going viral on social media. And all of a sudden, the entire Islamist propagandist team sprung into action. For example, look at this. The world's biggest pedophilia apologist, Daniel Hakikachu, is like, why is the UAE government sponsoring him in the first place? And then this guy, Xavier, may every and any Emirati or Muslim of any nationality who made this dog feel welcome after his slander of the Prophet join him in the afterlife. Ameen. So Tommy Robinson was actually adding salt to their wound. I would like to point out that from the minute I've landed in the UAE, I have been made to feel welcome from all I have met until the British prison convicted murderer, wannabe gangster, Ty Mitchell showed up. Ironic, isn't it? The Arab Muslims have been very welcoming and kind. Okay, so who is he talking about? Who is this convicted murderer? Woman basher. He's bashed a lot of people. He's a wannabe gangster, a failed boxer. He saw Tommy Robinson giving an interview, and then he thought to score some brownie points. Let's watch that video. This is Tommy Robinson.
Don't interview him. He's a racist prick. Why are you giving him airtime for?
They are interviewing me.
Why are you giving him airtime?
They are
He's a
interviewing me.
racist rat.
They are.
Why are you giving him airtime for?
They are.
Fuck him.
They are interviewing
He hates Muslims, but he's in a Muslim
They are
country.
interviewing me.
Where that one at?
They are
He's a
interviewing me.
fucking
Yes,
prick.
right.
Don't give him no airtime.
Mate,
You hate Muslims like us. Why are you here? Why are you in this country? You hate Muslims. You hate Muslims, so why are you in a Muslim country for? You're a little rat.
Yeah, good one.
Uneducated little rat.
You're uneducated. You're uneducated.
Prick. Get the fuck out of me. You don't want it around here.
Fuck off, you mug. Let me
You
finish
don't
my
want it around
interview.
here.
I'll finish my interview.
What this interview?
We'll do it over there.
He's a fucking idiot. No point on no interview. Don't give him no time. The racist rat bastard.
Tommy's smiling. He's frustrated. And look, he took a massive L because he tried to intimidate Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson, I've met him. The guy has a heart this big. He ain't scared. And he didn't back off. He stood his ground. He finished his interview. And this loser took the L. But the Islamist propagandist team, they are the most shameless people. Seriously. They take L's after L's and they claim that they're collecting W's. I remember debating with all these people like Daniel Hakikachu and Mufti Sheikh Uthman and all these guys. Every time they would get destroyed in a debate, they would come out and they would say, we won! We won! Hey guys, we won! And I'm like, how did you win? You just proved to the entire world that your prophet married a 9-year-old child. How did you win? But they thought that, oh, we have given some earth-shattering arguments in defense of our prophet's child marriage. That's what they would think. Daniel Hakikachu would think that he has given some earth-shattering reasons for having sex slaves. And I'm like, that is not a W. Now, of course, this is 5-6 years back, 2020, 2021. At that time, the wider Western community was not interested in those debates between Muslims and ex-Muslims and occasionally between Christians and Muslims. But those videos have become gold standard now. Every time an Islamist propagandist tries to sell you Islam, anytime, what's the first thing people post underneath? Muhammad's marriage to Aisha. Muhammad's habit of collecting sex slaves. Violent verses from the Quran, wife-beating verse. They didn't come out of nowhere. It's not like the 50% of the Western public suddenly became aware of them. We had been working on that, and people like Hakikachus and Muhammad Hijabs and Ali Dabas of the world, they were helping us. But these guys are deluded people. So every time they get an L, they say that we got a W. And this is exactly what they try to do after this. They're like, hey, well done, Toy Mitchell, well done. And even lefty wokes, they're the other most shameless people on earth. Seriously. They hate this guy so much, who's not racist. He's a very good friend of mine. I'm a brown man. He doesn't hate me. There's so many other black British, Indian Brits. They love him. He loves them back. If you don't attack his country, his heritage, his values, he's okay. He welcomes everyone. He gets a lot of heat from the real far right, from the real white supremacists like Steve Laws. So this guy's not racist, but your lefty woke idiots are praising him. And I'll tell you who he is. But anyway, let's watch. Tommy Robinson stands his ground.
He hates Muslims, but he's in a Muslim country. Where that one at?
He doesn't hate Muslims. He hates Islamists, you dumbass.
How the fuck does that work?
Do you know how many Muslims I know? That mates with. I don't like terrorism. I don't like jihadists.
Neither do Muslims. I do stand up against it. Yeah, I do.
When was the last time you spoke about an Islamist terrorist, you dumbass? You freaking violent criminal.
Why don't you stand up against the groom gangs that are white? I've only ever seen you stand up against... I'm from Derby, England. Yeah. I only see you stand up against the Muslims. I stand up... What do you mean what we're doing here? I'm a professional... I'm a misfits fighter. What are you doing here? I'll go against anything that's against Islam.
Okay.
Raping's against Islam. Grooming gangs are against Islam.
I'm here under the...
Raping is against Islam. I'll tell you why he actually converted to Islam. He actually converted to Islam so he doesn't get bummed by Muslims in prison.
Invite of Emiratis who I'm meeting tomorrow to discuss terrorist organisations in the UK. So that's got nothing's got fuck all to
white
do with
ones
you.
or just Asian ones?
I'm here to meet Emirati Muslims who work, Muslims from here, the United Arab Emirates, who work against
the problem is,
against the
let me
Muslim
tell you the issue I've got with you. The issue I've got with you is I'm not bothered. No, but I've watched you stuff, and the issue I've got is you're only against Muslims. Why when a white person does something, you don't question it?
What have I said that you disagree with? What have I said?
No, I'll tell you what you're disagree. You only push a narrative against Muslims.
Give me what I've said.
I'm telling you,
Tell me what I've said.
only push a narrative against Muslims.
Tell me what I've said.
Why do you not? Why do you not go against all the white people that do it and all the Christians?
Shall I tell you?
In your Bible it says that if a woman doesn't pray when she's
Let me
shave her hair
let
off,
me
you
tell
don't
you.
put that out there.
Let me tell you.
Go on then.
Because
Yeah, how many Christians are shaving the heads of girls who have premarital sex? Like, what the hell? The Quran is clear. Chapter 4, verse 24. Quran allows you to kill men and take their wives as sex slaves. There are hundreds of hadiths where Muhammad actually endorsed this practice. In fact, this verse that I just spoke about, that actually came because Muhammad's companions did not want to rape women whose polytheist husbands were still alive. So Muhammad said, no, don't worry about them. The men that he has just chained, don't worry about them. You can take these women. That's how he took Safiya. That's how he took Rehana. That's how he took Jawaria. So there's no comparison. If Christians were doing this, if Jews were doing this, yeah, sure, we'll talk about them.
90% of the men convicted for raping young kids in gangs, 90% are Muslims.
Most of the nonsense looks like you, though.
That's not my fault.
Most of the nonsense looks.
This is a typical argument that these idiots keep pushing. There's like, oh, most of the pedophiles are white men. Yes, 82% of pedophiles are white men. But guess what? England is 82% as well. This is within the expected rate of proportionality. That's the baseline, okay? But what these idiots don't understand, there is CSE, child sexual exploitation, and then there's GCSE, group child sexual exploitation. Casey Baroness's last report is overwhelmingly clear that British Pakistani men, not even Bengalis or Indians or Lebanese Muslims or Arab Muslims, specifically British Pakistani Muslims. And even within that community as well, there's a specific type of Pakistanis. They're Mirpuri Pakistanis. Half of British Pakistanis are Mirpuri, okay? It's their interpretation of this sex slavery, which was endorsed by Muhammad, okay? Yes, the vast majority of Muslim population does not practice it, but the Mirpuris of Pakistan, they took a special affinity to that practice of Muhammad, the one that I just mentioned. So if you see a certain community doing something, then what's wrong in highlighting that? So GCSE, this CSE, child sexual exploitation, in which 82% of that is committed by 82% of the population, i.e. white. But in GCSE, British Pakistani Mirpuri men only make up 1% of the British population, yet they account for 80%. In some reports, up to 80%. In some localities like Rochdale and Telford, 90%. They didn't make 90% of the population of Telford, okay? They didn't. But 90% of GCSE was committed by British Pakistani men of Mirpuri origin. What's wrong with that, you dumbass?
I'm giving you a fact. I'm giving you a fact. Majority of nonsense are white. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well then, so why don't you? I don't see you pointing that shit out.
Because it's a majority white nation.
You've got an issue. You come out there. I know. I've seen you on the news with the fucking Quran saying that you're against this book. What against the Quran are you against?
Things out.
Yeah. Out of context. Anyone can do that out of context. I can read the Bible out of context. Okay. And the Bible's far worse out of context than the Quran.
Rather than argue with me, go argue with ISIS, go argue with Boko Haram, go argue with Al Qaeda.
I do. So why don't you go argue with all the paedophiles in the churches?
Okay.
Why don't you go
do you believe in free speech?
Yeah.
How about you fuck off and let me finish my interview then?
Why is your free speech only against Muslims?
I'm not talking about Muslims.
No,
you're okay.
No, I'm on about that's what you're known for.
Because I've got an opinion.
You're a racist.
I'm allowed my
little
opinion.
prick and on one around here.
What's racist
So
got to do?
fuck off.
What's racist got to do?
Come back to where you come from.
Yeah,
No.
Who are you pushing?
No.
Who are you pushing, you fucking fanny?
No,
I mean, who are you pushing?
I'm just doing an interview now.
Lucky, do I look like I give a fuck about you? Do I look like I give a fuck? Do I look like I give a fuck about you? Do I look like I give
So see Tommy Robinson, he may be small in stature, but he's got a big heart. He stood his ground, mouthed him back, and when that guy was left speechless because he had no idea what he was talking about, he gave him a pissy little shove. And Islamist propagandists online started celebrating that, hey, look, he put him in place. He was shitting his pants, blah, blah, blah. You saw that exchange? Look, he stood his ground. And after that, there's another video where he actually finishes his interview. He did not move. That guy, Ty Mitchell, he was escorted away.
I give a fuck about you, fanny. Do I look like I give a fuck? Do I look like I give a fuck, you frag? Do I look like I care? Shut up, you mum. Go fuck off. Wait, now we're finish our interview. I told you we'd finish our interview.
Right, we will get into this. Boxing talk only.
Boxing talk, yeah?
Right, because you have come to see Andrew Tate versus Chase the Moor, Tommy.
Yeah.
You kids, big fans of Misfits.
Big fans of Misfits. I've come to watch Misfits. Obviously. Who's that fanny anyway?
That's Ty Mitchell.
Ty
who just
Mitchell.
come up to you.
Fanny, what's he, a professional boxer?
He is a professional boxer, yeah.
Fanny. Who gives a shit anyway?
But guess what? Who is this guy? So I tweeted this video, got, 676,000 views. Well done, Harry Salt. A Muslim hater is not welcome in our Arab lands. Well, he is there. What are you going to do about it? So who is this guy? First of all, let me show you the level of his boxing skills, okay? Look at him. This is him trying to give a blowjob to his opponent. Look at this. Pushed off. There you go. Off the ring. What a dickhead. What a loser. So when he steps into the ring, where he faces someone who actually knows how to fight, this is what he does. Gives blowjob to them in the ring. But who is this guy? Let me show you. So he's not just bullying Tommy Robinson. He is a bully all around. So let me read you about his accomplishments, okay? So this guy, Ty Mitchell, he obviously wanted to quickly become famous. He thought, oh yeah, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to walk up to Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson obviously didn't even know who he was. I had never heard of him until today. So in October 2011, during a drunken night out in Leeds, the then 21-year-old Mitchell punched a 19-year-old university student, Jagdeep Randhawa, once in the face during an altercation outside a Subway restaurant. Randhawa fell, hit his head on the pavement, and died 5 days later in hospital without regaining consciousness. Mitchell was initially charged with murder, but convicted of manslaughter at Leeds Crown Court. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, extended by 3 years on license, as he was deemed a dangerous offender. The judge noticed Mitchell's promising boxing career, as if that's a good reason. What's wrong with your judges? That actually tells you that this is an unhinged, loose cannon. The judge noted Mitchell's promising boxing career was ruined and highlighted the danger of his trained punching power. So he highlighted it, and yet he still didn't do anything. Okay. But that wasn't it. Prior to that, He had a string of previous convictions for similar offenses, including assaulting a woman in a nightclub. So an unrelated woman. Imagine the unhinged nature of this dickhead, that he gets into an argument with a woman at a nightclub and he punches a woman. And another one knocking out a man in Derby city centre. This is where he's from, Derby. That's what he said he's proud of. So Muslims started celebrating it immediately. That, hey, our guy won. Tommy Robinson shat his pants. Well done, Ty Mitchell. And this is the character of the guy that Muslims, well, you expect that from them, but wokes are celebrating him. A woman basher, a murderer. They're celebrating him. So they actually had a massive dilemma. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to actually address that. They're like, should we keep shitting on Dubai for being soft on Israel? Or should we beg Dubai to kick him out? So all these people like Busha Sheikhs of the world, Roshan M. Saleh, Mohammed Hijab, Daniel Akikachu, as I showed you, they all went nuts. They're like, please, please, let's forget about all of our political differences. We have to deport him. Look at this from Robert Carter. British anti-Islam hate activist Tommy Robinson is still expressing support for Quran desecrators, even from inside the UAE, tweeting in support of Israel's first extremist Islamophobe, Jake Lang. Some claim Robinson doesn't break the UAE laws during his visit. Well, clearly he does. Oh, by the way, more on Ty Mitchell. So when he got convicted of manslaughter and he went to jail, and as you guys know, British prisons are run by Muslims. Not my words, Roshan M. Saleh. Look at him. He deleted that tweet after bragging about it. Any criminals or thugs out there who are thinking of targeting Muslims should realize that Muslims are extremely influential in British prisons. So if you're convicted of a crime, there's a good chance you may get a double punishment. So shortly after that, even Muslims were like, bro, you don't say the quiet part out loud. So he deleted that. So this guy, Ty Mitchell, as you guys know, in the ring, he can't fight for shit. He only preys on unsuspecting people like 19-year-old teenagers or club-going young women. That's who he punches. So he punches way below his weight division. So when he went to prison, he converted to Islam. Because as you guys know, over there are different rules. And if you don't want to get bummed, then you have to convert to Islam. That's the only way to save your ass, literally. And in order to save his ass, he sold his soul and he converted to Islam. But now let's compare that with Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson has been to jail many times. Jails infested with Muslim criminals. But he chose solitary confinement over selling his soul. He could have thrown in the towel at any time. He could have said, hey, bro, you know what? I convert to Islam. After that, I'll never do anything again. He never did. He stood his ground. What a legend. That's why I have enormous respect for Tommy Robinson. Enormous respect for Tommy Robinson. But this clown, Ty Mitchell, as I said, that's the character of him. So Roshan M. Saleh, this guy who was bragging about British prisons being run by Muslims. Dubai is currently hosting the world's most famous Islamophobe, Tommy Robinson, someone who regularly insults Allah, the Quran, the Prophet, and Muslims. Dubai's own laws prohibit blasphemy, and punishment for it is jail. So why are the Emirati authorities tolerating his presence? Why has he not been arrested despite being mass reported to Dubai police? What does this say about the Emirates' commitment to Islam? Arrest this scumbag now and throw him in jail. I can't find it. There was another place where you could see that thousands of people were reporting him to the Emirati police. And guess what? Nothing happened to Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson was in Dubai for a couple of days, and he left after his commitments ended. Look at this. Quick to defend your nation, but you are so slow to defend the honor of the Prophet. Verily, your condition is unknown. This guy, Bob Carter, he even started posting evidence of Tommy Robinson's blasphemous posts. Your prophet is my bitch. I'll slap you, blah, 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 whatever. So message to the Emirati Arab people. Please raise a voice against the presence of this depraved hater of Islam and the insulter of our dearly beloved prophet in your country. Politics aside, by the way, these guys have been relentlessly smashing the UAE over its support for Israel. Unlike London and other Western capitals, you cannot organize a pro-Palestine protest in the UAE or in Saudi Arabia. They know how to control these, Mike. They're a different breed. They know how to deal with these Islamists. So these guys, in turn, have been attacking the UAE. So I'm pretty sure these clowns can't go to the UAE or even Saudi Arabia to perform their Hajj and Umrah. You know how they go round and round that rock, the square cube? They won't be able to go there because, yeah, they deliver justice very differently over there. Politics aside, Prophet Muhammad is a red line for all Muslims and Arabs. I know that all Arabs love the Rasul. Rasul is Muhammad. And I know there are good, honest, Allah-fearing people in the UAE. Please speak out and get the authorities to oust British far-right extremist Tommy Robinson. Your leaders will listen to its people. You must realize what is happening and please act now. The UAE has strict blasphemy laws which carry a jail sentence. Tommy Robinson is a notorious anti-Muslim blasphemer who insults the Quran and the Prophet and incites against Muslims every day. I encourage the UAE authorities to implement their own laws. Arrest this dog now and put him in jail. They wanted him to go to jail for a long time. Oh, and Muhammad Hijab. If Islam were truly responsible for grooming gangs, terrorism, and honor killings, as you claim, those abuses would be universal across Muslim countries, just as mosques and hijabs are. So stop pretending tolerance exists despite Islam and concede it exists because of it. That's a stupid, stupid assertion, Muhammad Hijab. You know damn well there's so many things that are universal in Islam, but they do not happen across every Muslim community. Female genital mutilation. There are hadiths. You know that. Come on, let me show you the hadiths. What about this, Muhammad Hijab? Why is female genital mutilation not practiced all across the Muslim world? Why only in Africa? Look at this. This is Sunan Ibn Majah 608. When the two circumcised parts meet, then bath is obligatory. The Messenger of Allah said, this is a Sahih Hadith, Sunan Ibn Majah 608. When the two circumcised parts meet. So what, is Muhammad talking about two gay men crossing swords or something? Of course. He's talking about an intercourse between a man and a woman, and both of them have to be circumcised. There is no other explanation for this hadith. Okay, if you are still in doubt, let me show you another hadith. This is a much more clearer one. Okay, so this is Sunan Abi Dawood. Albani has said it's Sahih. A woman used to perform circumcision in Medina. The Prophet said to her, do not cut severely, as that is better for a woman and more desirable for a husband. So he said, do not cut her clitoris too severely. This is your Prophet Muhammad saying it. So why is this practice not universal across the entire Muslim world? So your argument is as pathetic as everything else you do, Muhammad Hijab. So anyway, Muhammad Hijab is also crying why Tommy Robinson is in Dubai. Sorry, Muhammad Hijab, you can't do anything. So Daniel Hakikachi was actually really frustrated. He's saying that Tommy Robinson is being treated like royalty in the UAE. Now, I understand why Andrew Tate has been so friendly with him. So anyways, while these guys were crying, they were mass reporting him, Muslims were having an absolute meltdown on social media. Tommy Robinson, I think he finished his commitment and then he left the UAE. No jail for him. He wasn't arrested. Yes, there is a blasphemy law in the UAE. If the UAE authorities wanted to arrest him, they could have easily arrested him. There are plenty of social media posts that they could pin on Tommy Robinson. But that tells me one thing, my dear Muslims. The UAE is ours now. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where we have Halloween parties, we have temples there. When Muhammad specifically said that there can be no places of worship for polytheists on the Arabian Peninsula. But bad luck. These clowns wanted to conquer the West. And in the process, they have lost the birthplace of Islam. It's only going to get worse for you because you're not going to conquer the West either. Mass deportations will happen. Radical Islamists will be sent back. And where will they be sent? They will be sent to Afghanistan. The UAE is not going to take him. It's so funny that these people live in secular Western liberal democracies. They hate them because there's too much promiscuity. There's too much degeneracy. That's why they're always trying to go somewhere, go and live in Muslim lands. And the Muslim land that they pick is Dubai. Dubai has got nightclubs, brothels. You can drink alcohol there. Everything. You can get anything you want over there. And these people pick Dubai. If you want the real Islamic experience, then you have to go to Afghanistan. But they don't want to go there because they know deep down that the closer they are to Muhammad's style caliphate, the worse their life is going to be. But they don't want to admit it. This is the reason why no modern state can be built on the principles of Islam. It just cannot happen. It's a backward medieval ideology and society. The reason why the UAE and Saudi Arabia will not arrest Tommy Robinson is because they understand the work of Tommy Robinson. They want to modernize themselves. Tommy Robinson does not have the whole weight of the British government behind him. The British government is not going to say, hey, no, please, this is a thought crime. You cannot arrest someone over blasphemy. No. Keir Starmer is going to say, well done. He might even have called them and said, hey, why are you not arresting him? But they didn't. So I was shocked when I first heard that Tommy Robinson is in Dubai, because if I had spoken to him, I would have told him, don't go there. But obviously, he was invited there by the Emiratis themselves. So he obviously calculated the risk and he made a call, and he's out of the UAE in one piece. Nothing happened. Much to the dismay and the tears of the Islamist propagandist community, we won. Take the L, guys. And your Ty Mitchell guy, he's a thug. He's a violent thug. He's a murderer. And you are relying on that prick to collect a non-existent W. You didn't get a W. You lost. You fucking losers.